ever since I was young for some reason. I've had a tough time projecting my voice, and in real time conversation, it can sound like that horn is constantly just blaring, and my voice gets kind of muffled out and people don't really hear what I say. It's most apparent when I introduce myself and say, my name is Mizbah. People go, what? And it's not even because they can't understand my name, it's because they can't hear it. So I finally got just so annoyed at this problem that I decided to look into a vocal coach. I knew that I had wanted to find one for quite a long time, so I hit up Google and I'm like, all right, let's see what I can find. Hopefully I can do kind of a Skype session because I didn't want to or have to go in person. And one of the results that popped up was somebody from the UK. Her name is Luba. I think it's her, it was Singing with Attitude, or her Instagram is Singing with Attitude. And I couldn't believe that one of her past students was Ali Abdaal. If you're not familiar with Ali Abdaal, he's one of the top productivity YouTubers. He's like a doctor, went to med school, also crushes it on YouTube, makes great videos. I wasn't really into his work fully at the time, but I was starting to kind of get into it, and I was like, oh wow, this is kind of crazy. And I appreciated that she could actually see why I wanted to take some of these lessons, because her main thing was singing, and most vocal coaches, if you're looking into any, are into singing to some degree. There are some who specialize in, doing other forms of recording, but a lot of them that you're gonna find do singing first, and then something that I learned that Luba taught me is that singing and speaking are kind of the same thing. I'll take you back actually to my earliest experience of trying a voice lesson without having to actually go do one. Hopefully some of the things I share with you in this video will help you with that. But there's also this program that I tried back in the day which affirms this whole singing and speaking kind of being the same thing. Roger Love, look up this guy. He's somebody who works with a lot of Hollywood celebrities and helps them access their best voice. To me, I see the voice as kind of an instrument, and you have to take care of it. You have to tune it. You have to figure out how it works, right? Everybody has their own instrument, and so he's playing a trombone, and he's playing a saxophone, and he's playing a piano, and then over here we got a harmonica. Everybody's got a different sound, and Roger Love's program, it was like an MP3 file or something that I would play over and over and over, and it was really like a if I could recall one of the exercises, it was gug gug gug. So it was like gug 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 gug, and you would kind of access different parts of your chest voice, then from your abdomen, your head voice. It was interesting. I fell out of practice with that. It did help when I was doing that. It made my voice feel stronger, but I really needed a kick in the ass by somebody who was on the other side, who was walking me through it and helping me honestly with my specific situation. This is where I realized why coaching and all that stuff is so valuable, is because it's nice to have somebody on the other end who's like listening to my problem. So my problem was this. I was doing some stand-up comedy at the time, and what I really wanted to do was, the audience can sense when you're tight on stage, and I would notice that my throat was kind of locking up a little bit, sometimes when I'd be nervous, but other times it was just like, it sounded like I was yelling, but I wasn't yelling. I was just trying to be a little bit louder, which told me that I don't know how to access my diaphragm. So I told her about this. I want to improve my on-stage speaking. I want to improve my podcasting voice. And I want to improve, most importantly, just in-person conversations. Like, being at a drive-thru or being at a Starbucks or Dunkin', ordering myself and not having to deal with the, what? Like, what'd you say? If I could tell you the amount of times that I've heard that, that was really my win from taking these vocal lessons. I didn't want to, start becoming like a voice actor or something like that. I just wanted to make my voice stronger and have more control of it, because I knew that I was using maybe 10% of what I felt like I had available, and I didn't know how to access the other 90. So real quick, let's dive into what Luba shared with me. It was very against, what I thought I was going to learn. I really loved her aggressiveness in teaching me. I felt very awkward and embarrassed. And I remember her saying, like, it's all kind of in my head because I was able to hit certain notes. We used like this app to see the notes I was hitting, the sounds I was hitting, how it improved. So it wasn't that, it was just me kind of being in my head a little bit, and also I think having some awareness of how to use my when speaking. So one of the things that she taught me was not to use so much air when you are releasing, you're talking, right? So breathing with my mouth every time and using all of that air isn't good. What you want to do is focus on releasing little sips of air. So it's almost like if I inhaled, I feel my belly fill up. So it's almost like I need to feel like I'm flexing, and I feel like I'm a balloon that just expanded in this area. And here's the thing that surprised me a little bit. She was like, don't just like let all the air out. Keep it tight as you speak. So then you are really feeling yourself using that. And here's an exercise she taught me. It was a bop, 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 right? So that sound specifically mimics that, feature from your core coming all the way out into a sound. So it was like bop, 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 bop. And, I would sound a lot better and louder when, she was on the other side of the computer. But it was something that really taught me how to use my core and diaphragm in a way that I didn't really think to before. Just by that alone, I could start to see and feel my voice almost travel. If there was waveforms coming out of my mouth, like shooting out of here, I could see it traveling a little bit further, because it's almost like little sips of air that would shoot out like a fireball. Like if I said the word fireball, here's me doing it just like with my vocal cords like this, fireball. And then here's me doing it with my diaphragm, fireball. So louder, but also it feels just a little bit fuller, I guess, my voice. And so I really enjoyed that element of it. Just that simple concept of being able to utilize your core was a game changer. So try the exercise bop, 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 bop in private. Record yourself if you want to. Let me find the app that we actually used in the session. Okay, wow, I haven't used it in a while, but it's called SingScope. It's downloading again. So the app is called SingScope. Yeah, pretty easy. It's got some cool like stuff that's already built in, but she kind of would have that running at all times so that I could see what I was actually hitting. Now, the other thing that I'm a little bit ashamed to admit, but what I had trouble with was being emotive when I am speaking. So this is something that I took acting classes. I've done a lot of stuff where I got feedback that like, I haven't seen you get really angry or really sad or really happy. Like, you're kind of monotone or dry. And even when I tried to get angry or whatever it was, like it didn't come out the way it really is. It just felt weird. And so there's this emotional flexibility exercise that I had written out of phrases and stuff to help bring out different. It was very short, like 3-letter stuff. Like if you're angry, what would somebody who's angry say? It's like, are you kidding me? Like that, just to channel that emotion, bring out what the voice would sound like so that we could figure out different ranges. Because I did have this thing of like, it would be cool to do an impression or two as well, just like using my voice in a different way, which I knew came back to just having control of your voice. So I did a total of about 6 sessions with Luba. It was like once a week or something like that. And in between that time, I would do this bop, bop, bop exercises and a couple other things. But out of everything I did, the most impactful thing that I still are with me and I still utilize is how to use your diaphragm or your core, whatever you want to call it, the relationship you have with air to actually produce sound. That was just something I didn't really think about. Now, you're probably wondering, did all my problems go away? Did I feel more confident? Did people start saying, what'd you say? Did they say that a little bit less? And I know it could have been a mental thing, but just after that first or second session, hearing like she even said this, like, look, I'm a professional, I've been doing this for 20 some years, whatever, like, maybe you should trust me, what Luba is saying, and trust that, hey, your voice sounds good, your voice, like stuff that I didn't think about it, but I was kind of letting get in the way, like, oh, I don't sound good. Like, everybody cringes at their own voice, I feel like, but that for me was getting in the way of me sounding normal. And I feel like if you are in a position where, and I feel like if you're in a position like me where you felt like, okay, turn the microphone on, turn the camera on, and just go, the trouble is there's 2 to 3 layers of ice that you have to chisel through before you get to kind of your real voice and before you can actually be your. So I hope some of these exercises help you with accessing your best voice for whatever you're doing, a podcast, a video, Instagram stuff, going live, presenting something. There's so many opportunities to exercise the power of your voice and getting comfortable with it. Thankfully, it's not just about turning on the microphone. You can practice conversation anytime you're talking to somebody. Anytime you say hello is a great way to try this. And I'm very curious if you do. Drop a comment, let me know how it goes, and definitely connect with Luba if you're somebody who is in the market for a vocal coach. I did a lot of research. I actually had gotten a voice acting coach a long time ago, which that session did go pretty well, but it didn't give me exactly what I wanted. Luba was able to deliver that within the first session, I'll be honest, and she's not paying me or sponsoring this video or anything like that. I just really appreciate the work that she does and the dedication that she has. And for teaching me something that made me also just appreciate the power of coaching. Like, you pay somebody for a session, 2 sessions, an hour or 2 hours of their time, and what they give you access to in exchange. I mean, that saved me months and months of just, I'll do my vocal exercises, I'll listen to Roger tomorrow. It's like, that's not gonna happen, right? But when I had Luba ready to yell at me the following week and probably able to tell that I hadn't been practicing. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out some of these. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It all helps. But I appreciate you taking the time and tuning in. I'm Ms. Bahak, and I'll see you next time.